A story can be driven by so many things. Goals, fear, dreams, and desires. But it's always moved by its heroes. So, what story shall we tell today?
Hello and welcome to The Table Is Yours, a role-playing adventure where a group of friends at a table and through Discord play Dungeons & Dragons as well as other role-playing games. I am your DM, GM, best friend, Con Riley. My pronouns are they, them. And my fun fact for today, girl, I love Wawa. I do. So it is, and I listen, I love Los Angeles, but not as much as I love Wawa.
Maybe a 3 on the beaches of LA, but I'm a 10 at 2 a.m. at Wawa in PA.
That's true. That is fucking true. Oh, for people who don't know that aren't from either America or the East Coast of America, Wawa is basically like a really, really, really nifty convenience store. Like if you're from the PA Delmarva area, like that's your go-to place. That's where you can get, it's like a better 7-Eleven where you can get food and not feel bad about it. Like it can literally be a meal and you're not like, I'm gonna throw up later, or you get a salad. It's also a gas station, and it sounds weird, like a gas station, but it's like, it's really weirdly nice in a Wawa. Like it's not like a gas station, it's like a convenience store.
A gas station with a Subway, but
and
better than both.
Yeah, it's a gas station with a Subway with a Dunkin' Donuts, because it also has really good iced coffee and just coffee in general. It's like your coffee. It's like basically Wawa is like the best place if you have to drive anywhere. That's like your stop place. You will always stop at a Wawa.
It's a rest stop.
It's like it is the perfect
rest stop.
It is the perfect. No, it is like the perfect people's rest stop. If you're ever in the Pennsylvania area or the Delmarva area, go to a Wawa. It'll change your fucking life. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my fun fact is my ride or die is Wawa.
My name is Lexi May. I use she, her pronouns. I play one, the human artificer. My fun fact. I'm trying to think of where my ride or die place is.
Can't be Wawa, I already said it.
It can't be Wawa. Unfortunately, it is. I love Wawa, but it's not my ride or die. But I think I am such a farmer's market girly. Take me to a farmer's market.
Like any farmer's market?
Yeah, we had one back where I was growing up called Zern's, but it is closed due to the pandemic. And I would go there all the time. I did all my Christmas shopping there. You could get great food there. It's just perfect. But they closed. So, but take me to a farmer's market. I love farming.
Hi, I'm Andrew. My pronouns are he, him. I play Wash and
Felix.
I play Wash. I am a ride or die to the Deli Grove, which is a pretty much a mom and pop shop.
Hey, I'm Sydney. I play Codex. My pronouns and her pronouns are she, her. You can't really find me anywhere. I'm rebranding. We'll get there. But I don't really have a ride or die place. I don't like shopping that much. Or going out. My ride or die place would be my bed. But if I have to give an actual location, when I was younger, I used to be like ride or die for Borders, not Barnes & Noble.
Fair and respected.
Borders was the shit. And then, now I have to go to Barnes & Noble. Or, I would love to shop at local bookstores. I would promote shop at your local bookstores that aren't owned by, like, Amazon or anything giant, but, whatever.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I use she, her pronouns, as does Isabella Ballador, who is the tiefling paladin bard of the group. My ride or die, I guess right now, is this small vegan cafe in Philadelphia.
Hi, my name is Vic. I use they, them pronouns, and I've never really said it, but Terrence uses he, they pronouns.
There we go.
He is a Path of Duality barbarian, which I feel like we haven't really said out loud. We mentioned that it was a homebrew class.
We mentioned in the first episode that I homebrewed this class with the help of both you and Sid, as well as the brawler class that Wash is a revised version of someone else's that I made. The duality's on me, baby!
My go-to place. Probably my a go-to fast food. I love McDonald's. That's all I got. It's McDonald's Big Mac meal is my go-to.
Hey everybody, I'm Heather Alexandria Lore. I play Shay Erebos, our resident rogue, plus other cool stuff. I use she, her pronouns, but honestly don't give a fuck. Call me whatever.
Re-puts in daddy quote.
Yeah, you can always call me daddy. I moved around too much to really have a ride or die place too, but I do like Trader Joe's. I go to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods almost exclusively for my groceries, so.
And of course, you can follow us anywhere for The Table Is Yours at TTIYDND on all our socials, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, YouTube, all that good stuff, on Spotify and all your other podcast listening apps. Yeah. So, with that, let us get into our recap for last episode.
What story shall be sung today? One can never know how the melody might sound. Our adventurers have already begun to pluck the strings of their story, and their combined composition is unfolding like a road before us.
Ay, where do I even begin? Okay, so Phoebe is Fiara, or Fiara is Phoebe, and she always has been, and we probably should have put that together considering she leads the Martyrs of Ponte and she is Fiara di Marte, so I can see the play on words there. She told us it was best to have an adventuring party like us, considering the name we just made for ourselves by killing Verano, so that we could work towards a common goal we might all share. That being that we have all been slighted by the Burg and its inevitable corruption. She explained that the Burg destroyed Ponte since they didn't like that her, Cazamir, and Balthazar's parents, Lord and Lady di Marte, led Ponte without it being theocratic, god-worshipping, and all that. She also told us that the wilds used to be lush plainlands almost 400 years ago, before the fall of Ponte and its infection from the Burg. Then the wilds became the desert-like badlands that we see today. She knew the root cause had to be in the higher-ups from the Burg, a problem that needed to be uprooted, and if the Fated Fates agreed, together they could fix Zabaria and the problems it's had since the time after the War of the Gods. That we could get behind. Yeah, she wanted to break down the corrupt government and destroy the theocratic church, but the kicker was that she wanted to kill the fair father himself, Zaharis, the god of the fucking sun. Which is insane! Like, I get that she wants to shut off the powers of the followers of Zaharis, who she believes is behind all this shit. But the plan is to kill the fair father and shut off the sun? And then it gets even crazier. We get informed about the Darkroot diamond situation that One and Codex were involved with. Apparently, those diamonds, or the gold wires wrapped around them, hold trespasser gods in them, aka the bad guys from the War of the Gods in ancient times, and apparently the diamond holds the power of like 1 billion wish spells or something. I don't really know, I don't do magic. But we need them to somehow kill the god of the sun to get the bad people who've ruined Zabaria, according to Fiara, into the light, or the non-light? I don't fucking know, the sun would be gone, it's fucking crazy. But all of this is apparently what made Zabaria bad, ruined the wilds, and made the Demartas into vampires. And don't worry, we all kinda agreed to help Fiara, probably because it was insane and she's scary, but she's given us a free dinner with her brother Cazamir. Whoopee!
So, any questions, concerns, comments, wishes, hopes, wants, fears, needs, wishes? Again?
1,000 wishes?
1,000 wishes, you say?
I will give the table over to you. The table is yours. I'll say once Fiara finished that, saying like, you know, like, okay, you're gonna go to dinner with my brother. Probably very similar, where like Cazamir just kind of came up to you and was like, "Do you accept that I take you out of here, basically blindfolded and unaware?" Does everybody accept? Does anyone give him trouble?
Yeah, but can we have some walking around money?
You can ask later. But you all kind of just get like. Same thing where it's like you fall asleep and immediately wake back up outside. Now more north of that marketplace district where the Summit University is and all that other stuff. Yeah, so you guys are kind of just like walking, following Cazamir and his pet cower.
No. Does anyone
Can I be petting Cower?
Sure.
does anyone give Cower weird looks, or does it look like it's disguised to look normal?
Is it a Rottweiler again?
Yeah, cower looks like a Rottweiler. You guys are walking. Table's yours.
I feel like I mean, I don't know if anyone else has anything to say, but I feel like it's a very, like, we're sinking in with everything that was just said, because that was so much.
Yeah. Shay's sticking to the back in the shadows as much as possible.
I should probably put my armor back on as we walk out. And I'm probably keeping to the front. If I know you're in the back, I'm keeping to the front.
Yeah, smart.
Girls are fighting.
So fighting.
I think Issa's walking in silence, kind of just mindlessly petting Cower, and it's probably like Cazamir, Cower, Issa, and she's just walking in silence right now.
Terrence is unsure of the nature of your relationship.
Terrence runs up and is like, "Are you guys actually?"
So you should
what is this?
Because I thought we had a thing.
I couldn't really focus in there, so I don't know what she said, but you guys.
You're in the front, you said?
Yeah.
Casimir was probably just going to kind of like look to cower and then look over at Issa if you notice, and then just probably like walk up next to one. So, how was that for you?
Was it good for you?
So it was good for you, so it's good for you.
She's gonna like, why would you say it like that?
Kind of like looks to the left and looks to the right, not really knowing what to say. Just kind of like that.
I love how unaware he is. It's so good.
It's incredible.
Amazing.
Fine, I guess.
You agreed quite quickly.
I see the mission.
And what does this mission suffice to you?
The berg does need to go down.
Its entirety, or
Or it needs to be. The issues with the berg is in its foundation. Unfortunately, we have to shake the foundation to fix things. I'd like to be part of the fixing.
I admire you for your much more tactful description of shaking things up instead of drowning a rat. That's my sister. Did she scare you?
Less than I thought she would.
I think she's just a person torn like everyone else.
I think that's why I wasn't scared. I got it.
Just like suddenly, like Kaz is just walking slowly and just not there. Like if like you guys are walking at the same pace, Kaz is just more like walking slower. And
I guess we're done.
then kind of like, did you say that?
Yeah, I probably would say that.
Probably seen it like just like right back to like just right next to you again.
We can be done talking if you wanted to be done. You can just tell me to be done.
I said what I needed to. Do you have anything else to say?
Was it good for you too?
It's another second day of the week.
What do you think about all this?
What is all of this?
What your sister laid out for us.
What do I think about the things that my sister laid out for you all?
Yeah. Do you agree with the plan, the ideas? You don't seem as gung-ho.
I was younger when everything happened. But, I think vengeance from my parents and my city would be nice. Though, I've always kind of been known to be a person of the middle ground. I understand Balthazar's side, too.
What's Balthazar's side?
Taking the horrible thing that happened to us and using it to his own advantage, maybe in a way that's not as morally acceptable, but...
So, is he more of the kin to say he wants to take control of the Berg, but keep it as is?
I think Balthazar just wants to release his feelings in a much more volatile way.
And so, you're just afraid of the damage of that?
I'm not afraid of anything.
Afraid not in the sense of afraid, just an unwelcomed outcome.
I think anything my brother might do might be at the opposite end and opposing side to Fiara, and though they are both my siblings and I have much love in my heart for them, I think that Fiara's side is something more akin to what my parents would want.
Well, what do you want?
I don't know. I can't tell you that every day I don't think about finding whatever weaknesses we might have and ending it, but I don't find that helpful. If I'm given a life, I might as well use it.
So what are you looking for?
Is this what Issa means when she says I'm vague?
Can I hear them?
Yes.
Am I walking? Yeah. I'm just like, I'm like sighing when he's like, does this mean, is this vague? It's like,
I wouldn't say vague. I would say you talk about things as they are instead of what you want.
I was questioning what you were saying is vague.
Oh.
No, you're being vague, bitch, not me.
I guess I'm just asking because now we know what Fiara wants, kind of understand what Balthazar wants.
Balthazar wants power that he feels like he was deserved as being the eldest, and is vilely vindicated through the curse we've received.
So let's say you didn't have your siblings. It was just you. What do you do?
It was just me and I was cursed to become an undead creature of the night?
Yeah.
That is an interesting question. What do I want? I like to play my guitar. And you kind of watch as like a spectral blue guitar kind of like appears in his hands, and then he kind of just like makes it disappear.
Yeah.
I want to be a rock star!
I can't see it, but Issa's just like smirking, petting Cower.
Yeah.
She's like this fucking idiot.
But he also has like power and political gains. And then Casamir's like the middle child's like, I just want to play my guitar.
Actually, Cazmir's the youngest, actually. Yeah. Funnily enough, Cazmir's the youngest.
He used to be so full of
I love.
Yeah. I think mostly what I want is just to figure out what I want. And I don't have an answer right now, so I'm just, what do people say? Going with the flow. I don't necessarily need bloodshed and tormenting others to feel some type of kick of life like my brother, and I don't necessarily need a full goal to reprimand and right the wrongs that were done to me, but I have my alignments.
Well, I'm sorry you got caught up in all of this. Are you the middle child, oldest?
I'm the youngest, Fiara's the middle, and Balthazar's the oldest.
Seems a theme with the youngest, just wanting to do what they want to do.
Yeah. It's fine. I find people curious, so I enjoy moments like this.
Well, if you ever want a chance to play your guitar, I do love music when I'm working.
Noted. Then slowly walks like away, like walks back.
Yes, this is the end of the conversation.
The end.
He's gonna slowly walk and slowly walk. Like if I just like the idea of like the slowly like descending walk to travel backwards instead of just stopping. He's gonna let Issa and Cower pass him if you don't want to stop.
Not right now.
Yeah, and then he's gonna like kind of keep time in the same pace as Terrence.
I think Issa's gonna try to like stick around Cazamir so she can hear what he's saying to everyone.
I feel like Terrence is like just lost in thought, and then is like, "Gonna do that."
So, you caved pretty quickly. What was that about?
Are you a little bitch?
Terrence like looks at him for a second, like processing, and he's like, "Yeah." I kind of just want to know what the hell's going on. I don't have any strong feelings either way.
You have a strong feeling when someone calls your potions. Yeah. Is there a twitch? What do you go? Yeah.
I mean, it's that one's less like since it's not he's not saying it, he's like acknowledging that I react to it. I'm like, that's more of a pride thing.
Casimir kind of like cocks his head in a little bit of confusion. His face doesn't change. It's not like he's like. He just kind of like...
Casimir's going through his personal dictionary to remember what pride means.
Yeah, he's like...
Yes, flipping through.
Damn.
It's like, imagine you play the guitar, right? That's how you do that thing when you...
pops out of nowhere to say that. Pulls back.
You play...
There's no answer. He just is deadpan looking at you.
You play the guitar your whole life, and everyone keeps calling you an amazing, like, violinist. Wouldn't that, like, kind of get under your skin after a while if they're not appreciating what you're actually doing and calling it something else?
Since we're living in a world where people know what a violin versus a guitar is, I think no.
Well,
That was maybe not the best roundabout way to say I don't know what it is that you're doing. And all I can tell you is it's a liquid that makes you change. Which, from my knowledge of the world I live in, is a potion.
That's fair. It's hard to explain to people, so I guess I grew burnt out of explaining it.
Okay, well I'm 300 years old and I have all the time left, so why don't you start explaining? Unless you don't want to. That might have been harsh. I can continue my pace backwards if you'd like.
Starts to do it.
I'll explain. It's not magic. There's no magic base to what I do. It's all reaction based. Like cooking. You put things together, you apply different heat, different seasonings, different...
Why do you only use it when you fight?
It, alters the way I think. Like a drug, almost.
So it's drugs.
I guess it could be seen as one, if you use it that way.
Why not try using it in a time where you're not put under intense duress or stress? Seeing what happens then. You do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other people in your party that can at least look after you or tell you or document what has been happening when you're under that state, so why not use that to your advantage? How do you feel about your group?
Terrence is like processing each line and it's like... I mean, actually, I have talked to one about that, so...
About which one?
About the monitoring my state when I'm like that. I just haven't used it outside of combat.
Why not try at dinner?
Oh, cool. Terrence does react that way.
Do you know how much food you can hold as a larger person?
You know what? No.
Does it get sustained and or fueled by more, lack of a better term, fuel such as food?
I guess it could. I mean,
does your new person have different flavor palettes?
Terrence pulls out a piece of paper and writes these things down. I guess I'm looking too much at the formulaic aspects of this. Maybe there's more to observe. Maybe I will try it at dinner.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about your party?
Um,
You seem quite nervous compared to most of them except maybe Codex Amala.
I mean, I feel fine about them.
Do you like Cornelia?
Yeah.
Do you like Isabella?
Yeah.
Do you like Wash?
Yeah, I don't know how much he likes me, but I enjoy talking to him.
Do you like Shay?
Yeah.
And Codex Amala?
Yeah. I mean, I feel fine about all of them. I feel like everybody is...
Just fine?
We haven't known each other for that long, I guess. Been through... I don't know. I don't know. I'm not usually a people person. I don't talk to people.
Why join an adventuring party?
I didn't mean to.
Why not leave?
I offered that up, but I was also being hunted by somebody.
You're not necessarily now, but I guess now you're being funded and known as the Fated Fates member Terrence, who made the serums, that was misused, and it resulted in a disaster.
Right, yeah, so now I'm kind of tied into this, so it would be kind of rude to leave now, and I'm kind of enjoying myself, in a way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Really?
Terrence is now like...
What the most do you enjoy about the Fated Fates? Or who? Or what from each person?
Okay, pick one. I think I said I'm not a people person, but I think I just like being around people for the first time. I haven't had many friends.
That's nice.
Disappears.
Walks. Oh yeah, that is good.
Terrence is like on the verge of tears.
I think Issa would probably cast message to Cazamir and just be like, "He's up, please," on Terrence. Whether he listens or not, but...
Your heart is racing, is that my fault?
I think it's always like this.
I can't tell if it's a state of anxiety or a state of fear or... I don't know how to describe it other than heart aflutter. Friendship, love, I don't know. Charm. Excitement. One of those, I'm sure.
Maybe all of the above.
Am I causing it more?
I think you're bringing it to my attention.
I'll take the compliment. And starts walking backwards. Wow! Cazamir makes his way back. Issa, are you also like...
like trying to back up?
Yeah!
So then, watch. I'm sorry I told my sister about your name. I didn't realize your name was not your name.
Wash starts speeding up.
Cazamir just, keeps up.
What do you want?
Conversation.
And you think you'll find it here?
I think you have the ability of speech.
But do I want to?
I can't tell. The pulsing of your heart is very abnormal.
What is that supposed to mean?
It's going from regular to a type of quick patterned. I can't tell if it's a anger, fight or flight.
Let's just say yes.
Why are you angry and or want to fight or flight?
I'm angry because if you can find my name, other people can find my name.
Well, you were born somewhere.
Yeah?
And you were born into a pretty well-known family. I would say it would be quite strange if you were not documented as being a born person. Also, it might be fair that my sister is the head of the society that has all of the notes, documents, and signed of whatever papers.
Yeah, that probably helped finding it.
The only person I'm sure knows it with no doubt is probably the bull of the Onyx Obscurity, but she knows most everything. I think sometimes my heart also does the fight or flight when I'm near her. I'm not sure, maybe it's just a irregularity from the blood flowing from... well, the blood flowing.
Right. Do you know who has access to those files?
My sister.
Just her?
I don't really know the dealings of the Naramont Society other than I listen to what my sister says. Sometimes.
When I feel like it.
I'm sure there probably is a chance other people have access to that file. Why is it so secretive for you?
Because I don't want to be found.
Who would find you?
People.
What kind of people?
I love Cazamir so much.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I'll start making my way back. And then slowly walking backwards. And he just goes,
Cazamir starts walking backwards, and he's like, wait, where are Codex and Shay? Wait a second, hold on.
Does Codex caught up yet?
I mean, I don't know if Shay is gonna do anything to her in this alley, but, but yeah, she probably just, she throws up, and then she, if Shay is watching, she, stands there for a second, and she just puts her forehead against, the wall of the building, because it's probably cool, and just stands there, and, her ears are, flat against it, and she's just, just dead silent, and just, touching the wall, and just trying to, collect her shit. And, after, probably a minute or so, she realizes she's probably falling pretty far behind, and she, kind of, swings back, and, straightens up, and she, runs her arms over her, to wipe her eyes, and you could totally tell she was crying, and she's just okay. And she just kind of, turns on her heel and starts walking out of the alley to catch up to people.
As soon as you catch up, probably Cazamir is hello.
Hi.
You seem very shaken up.
Yeah, well...
Can I help?
We talked about killing God, so... No, Cazamir, you can't help. You're part of the problem, actually, so...
Can I help not be the problem?
I don't think so.
Would you allow me?
What are you gonna do? Just boop, nothing happens? There's a God out in the world that is, pain and suffering or something, and it's my fault, and,
It's not necessarily your fault, you didn't know. Neither did Orathia nor my sister.
Yeah, I still had chances to be no. So, it's... I don't want to talk about it, okay? We'll just go to dinner, and I won't throw up again, and it'll be fine.
You threw up?
No.
You just said you did.
No, I didn't.
I hate to see you so upset. I just thought there might be a way I could lessen your pain, your stress, the bile rumbling inside your stomach.
She tilts her head back, and she takes a deep breath, and she's like, nope, we're good. I'm sure everything's gonna work out great, and no one will die.
You're lying.
Yeah, Casimir, I'm trying to manifest some positivity right now.
Would a hug help?
Casimir, I really don't want you to hug me right now.
Issa messages Casimir. She's like, she's fragile. Please go on to Shay if you can find her. And that's it. That's all she said. If you can find Shay, just...
You hear the message back of Casimir going, Shay's lurking in the shadows. I don't want to disturb her.
Yeah, that's fair. No, so maybe just... she doesn't want a hug.
How fast can you punch, Codex?
Issa rolls her eyes in front of them both.
Well.
What? She like looks over and it's just like full exasperation. Just like, what? What?
At a Mach speed, what would you say? How many punches?
I don't know. I don't know. Why don't you ask Quash that? He's the one that does punching stuff.
What's the largest enemy you've ever faced?
I don't know if you were paying attention. I'm new to this. So like I'm not facing enemies constantly. Unless you're talking about sports.
Sure.
Sports. I went okay, there was a championship game that we were in, and I was toe-to-toe with a Goliath, but, like, I wasn't punching him. I was just, jumping around. Like, that's my thing.
Did you win?
No, we're not really that good.
Oh. Well, sounds
Don't say, aw, Casimir.
You could treat this like a sporting event.
I don't think I can. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of rules. And, like, I know Skinball is pretty... There's a lot of stuff going on in Skinball, but there's rules.
Just stringent rules. Or non-stringent rules. When you play your game, do you let go of any fears, anxieties, worries?
No, it's just really good exercise, and my job was running around the city, so it's cardio.
That can be the same with being an adventurer, I think. I'm not exactly sure. It all seems like some type of sport to me.
Yeah, but I feel like you're looking at it from like a trainer or like a coach. I don't know how much in the how much in the field you are.
I'm in the field constantly, if you mean not in the Nerimon Society.
That's not what I mean. Listen, I'll be fine. I know I'm freaking out right now, but I've held on to this for I have been fine for 2 years. I can keep being okay. It'll be okay.
Okay. I'm just worried. As someone who worries. I'm trying to be a helping hand in this situation when I think your friends are not.
No.
She like stares at him for like a second, and then he literally just watches her cast message and to Issa. She's not gonna subtle spell it. And she just casts the message to Issa. She's like, "What the fuck is going on right now?"
He didn't really learn a lot of social skills, I'd say. I know he's been alive for like 300 years.
Yeah, she kind of like just like looks back at Casimir. She's like, "Yeah, okay, this has been great, and you've been super helpful, and you're doing a great job with whatever this is."
I think you are as well, and I like the pink and the magic you do. Walks forward. At a point, Casimir then returns to the front. If you follow him with Cower.
Yep.
I think that went well.
She inhales, like, noticeably a lot more than usual, and is like, "You are trying your best." I don't know if they trust you and or want to talk to you right now.
Okay.
I think they'll like you, eventually.
I don't really care if they like me or not.
I know.
How are you feeling after all of this?
I'm still processing. she said a lot.
Does this shake you up with your and kind of gestures to your symbol to Benona? Your faith?
No. Not yet. I don't have necessarily a strong allegiance to who your sister wants gone, but obviously some of my power would be impacted by that as well. It's just more of a... This is more of a potential or a theoretical right now. And it hasn't happened in... You know how long. It's been so long. For lack of a better timetable, it's been a long fucking time since something like that happened, Cazamir. And I think it's too extreme. She'll say that.
He kind of nods. Do you not feel, at least, and maybe I'm not the best person to have an opinion on this, and I don't really know if it's an opinion or a regurgitating statement I've heard, or maybe just thought of, but do you not think that the world currently is at a stale state of peace, cracking at every edge? Slowly.
Yeah, I think something needs to change. Topside, at least, but also structurally. But I don't know if the way your sister wants to go about it is the best way.
Well, then there might be something else we can all uncover. Maybe if we find the proverbial rat that needs to be drowned out to swim into the light before killing the god.
Yeah.
Though I'm sure if my sister heard me saying that, she would get very irate with me.
Cross.
She'd be very cross with me if she heard that, she would.
We're cross with prayers.
She'd be very cross with me.
Yeah, I think you seem to be potentially playing both sides. Is kind of...
What is the other side, Miss Balador?
Well, you have a brother.
I wouldn't say I play anything into Balthazar's side. If anything, I placate disaster coming from his side.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you didn't tell your sister about the army.
No, I guess I didn't.
Do you know why you didn't tell her?
He kind of gets like this smile. I don't think that's something that she could handle. I do think you could handle it, though. Meaning all of you. He corrects himself. The best thing I can say about my older siblings is they both are, in their own tormented ways, they're both errant children who are throwing their toys against the wall until something sticks. One might have a better, morally looking version than the other. I think we're all upset with what happened. Everyone is still broken and upset with what happened all those years ago. Rightfully so. But he kind of like shrugs his shoulders up to his neck.
And you're not?
I mean, it happened on my birthday, so I feel like I should be the one that was the most irate. I guess I am. But I don't know. I never really got a chance to figure out who Cazamir di Marte was before I turned into this, so I'm still figuring out who Cazamir di Marte is.
I like him now.
I think I do too.
Do have some questions, though.
Well, we are almost here, actually, as he kind of like gestures to like this giant building that looks almost kind of like this big melting pot.
Yes.
Yeah. On
Nice. It's a Wawa?
It's a Wawa. It says Wawa. Yeah, but it has this like big sign like written in almost like cursive script that says "The Moments by the Pyre."
P-Y-R-E?
Yeah, P-Y-R-E.
Nice.
LOL.
Moments by the Pyre.
Hey.
The Moments by Pyre.
The Moments by Pyre.
I'm the owner of Pyre.
Hi, that's me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do the dogs count as party members for a restaurant?
For a restaurant, no.
We might have to sit outside.
Play!
Does this place have raw fish? We can't have pets in here.
There's an open air kitchen, you just can't.
I'll get us a table. Kind of like walks in, like talks to somebody who's probably standing by, like the fucking host stand. As they kind of bring you in and bring you by this, like, when you go in, you get like kind of enveloped by this like this like giant. It's not overwhelmingly hot, but like this is like feeling of warmth that kind of just like wraps all of you as you see this huge pyre in the middle that is like kind of. It looks like a bonfire almost in the middle of this giant inn, tavern, restaurant, whatever you want to call it. The fire is what looks like an hourglass shaped glass. And you kind of get taken out to like this like larger booth table that does have like partial inside outside seating. Like it's like on the inside, but it's also open air right outside of where the booth is. And it's like this little like stone, or it's this bigger stone table that has its own little coals and embers in the middle for like potentially cooking things yourself as you sit. As you kind of walk in, you hear Cazamir saying like party for seven de Marta basically, and I'll sit down, and drinks are kind of passed around and sat before you.
Shay wants to be sandwiched between either Cazamir and Terrence or Issa and Terrence.
I'm gonna hand you a piece of paper. Not subtly, really. I'm just like, hold on to this. Inside, it's going to say things to note. How much food do I eat?
Yes.
Note my behavior. Don't make me mad, I think. Or don't antagonize me. Yeah, it just, like, different things like that. Write down anything else interesting. I'll say, like, remind me at 30 minutes to take another one. And it doesn't count towards danger state if I'm taking them and I don't get, like, it doesn't get activated.
It's not until you have a sense of combat or like danger, not danger state, because that's a weird thing.
I don't get like triggered.
You don't get triggered until like unless you feel like you are in danger, or you feel like, or you are like your brain or whatever is thrown into the idea of combat. And then once that happens, if you could have taken 8, once you're thrown into it, you're just on the first.
Yeah. Okay. So what you see written down is don't make me mad, scratched out. Antagonize, scratched out. Feel like I'm in danger.
I need to feel this has to be a safe space.
This must be a safe space. And also at the bottom there's like a smiley face. But here's the thing, I'm gonna wait for a little while and then be like, I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Like after everyone orders drinks.
Yeah. And then Terrence is gonna excuse himself to the rest.
So, how can I help alleviate any confusion, questions, worries? Probably at this time is like when the waitress probably brings over a plate of ales, meads, mix and match, probably somewhere in a jug and or like in a small cask for you guys. And you watch as a specific one, because Kaz is like, just like a round of drinks for the table, please. And watches a specific goblet is given to Kaz that has a dark red liquid in it.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, Terrence is gonna at this point take a sip and then like that's what he's gonna be like, oh, I gotta piss.
He's in the mirror, he's like, okay, impress everybody.
Yeah. He literally is gonna go like splash water in his face and hide himself up in the bathroom because he's not really ever done this in a casual setting. It's always been fight or flight. So he's like someone walks in and they see him being weird and they're like
Wash is gonna grab a mug, start filling it up and say, so when do we get paid?
When you do your first job.
Oh, I thought since we now have...
When you have your keep, you will have a collection of things you can choose in the array.
Why does nobody want to pay up front?
Because what if you're shit at what you do?
No.
Well, you already bought us.
We didn't even get paid for the last job.
Yeah.
We didn't buy to own you, we bought to rent you, right? So if you are a bad investment, we will drop that investment. As is any adventuring group, as one would know.
As one would know.
As one would know.
One's probably just like literally sitting with a journal like on her lap. Not in armor anymore because she's in fucking restaurant. Like, I need to eat. And every so often I kind of like look to where the bathrooms are. That's probably just what I'm doing. Like I'm like a little too excited for this.
Or you can also discuss with each other and figure out who the fated fates are to yourselves.
Is one trying to avoid Shay at all?
You can see I'm just like looking over. I'm not looking at really anyone else.
Excellent.
Yeah, Codex, she probably, after, like, the small, like, whispered, like, you sit next to Cazamir, like with Wash, she eventually is just like, whatever, and she, like, goes in, so she's sitting between Wash and Cazamir, and she is, for the most part, just staring at her cup, and she probably is, like, tilting it so the water, the liquid just kind of, like, swirls in it, and then eventually, At some point, she kind of, like, looks up at, like, the worst timing and just meets Shay's eyes if she's looking at her, and then she immediately looks back down at her cup. It's just like,
I love that.
I think what you hear is, like, maybe a clatter of, like, plates to the ground, and then, like, oh, excuse me. So, I'm sorry. And then you see this huge man, like, in comparison to when you've seen him in combat, in that his, like, eyes are so bloodshot and his, like, veins are, like, popping. And for some reason, like, I feel like the shirt that Terrence was wearing is, like, the jacket was taken off and, like, the white t-shirt underneath has, like, stretched to just be so fucking, like, a single wrong move is, like, going to tear this thing off, but for now he's still closed. But it looks just like a big guy. Like, he doesn't look like as monstrosity, like as much of a monstrosity as he did when you're fighting. He just kind of looks like a big, stupid baby that's trying to fumble through the crowd.
Can he be, instead of 8 foot tall, can he be 7.5 feet tall?
Sure.
54-inch wide?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I am 54 inches wide.
Did you have a 7-foot frame with rats on your back?
Rats so long as back. We don't talk about Terry.
But you see him
Copyright lawyers? Sorry.
shaped like a Dorito, like trying to squeeze through these tables that are normally a decent amount spread apart, but like he just has no fucking class, so he's like, excuse me, pardon me, and people are like spilling their drinks as he's like trying to bump through from the bathroom to here, and yeah, you just see him like, oh excuse me ma'am, sorry, and then he's gonna scoot into the booth, like acting as normal as he possibly can, scoot into the booth, the table's probably like, like
Yeah.
and he puts his hands on the table, crossed.
Shay gives him a pat on the arm.
Terrence?
Terry.
Hello,
Terry?
Shay.
Good to see you again.
Hi. Oh, Issa. Terry. And I hold out my hand.
Gigantic.
Issa with one hand is fidgeting with her rings on her necklace, and then on the other hand, like, does reach out to, like, grab Terry's hand. Hi.
It's nice to meet you. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
He's smiling like a dog. Like, this is like an idiot face.
This is his eager face.
This is his eager face. So what's for dinner?
What sounds good?
Plane.
The plane.
We could have a full plane right now.
I'm so hungry I could eat a dragon.
The whole plane.
I could eat a dragon.
I'm so hungry I could eat a dragon.
Let's get another dragon to like roast it for me.
I say that, but I'm so hungry I could eat a dragon.
I'm sure they might have some type of drake on the menu.
For real? You can eat dragons?
You can eat anything technically.
What if
Drinks from his goblet.
What if?
Yeah, Issa's, like, nudging him.
Yeah, he says, it's pig's blood.
Blah.
Is it good?
She's like, so?
Pig's name was Carrie. The pig's name was Carrie. The last pig I had was Wilbur, and the one before that was Babe.
Oh my god.
Awful.
And he was a.
She just kind of, like, whispers him. She's like, I
It
don't
was the second Babe I knew. Pig in the city. Sorry.
Do you name all of them?
Sorry, Issa. Sorry.
No, I think Issa's just kind of like, oh. I mean, I was fine with the other thing, but okay. Cool.
for the people who are sitting near one, if you see what she's like doing in her notebook, she's writing in a language that is incomprehensible because you don't. You can try to discern what it is, and every so often she'll look at Terry and just touch the page, and a picture will appear, and then start sketching over it.
That's cool.
You drawing me a picture?
Spicy.
It's you.
It's me! You love it. Do I really look that good?
Yes, you do.
Nice.
Wash is gonna lean over to him and be like, why? Why?
Because I told him to.
Why?
Well, think about it. If you want to know your assets as a party, a good adventuring party who does well in their own areas of expertise, we might send you places like the wilds, where there could be stone caverns or empty tombs that might need a large door that could be removed. Terry, are you good at removing large things?
I could take down a door.
You could not take down a door, you could move it, yes?
Oh, yeah, Paul. I mean, I could take it down.
Usually doors don't have hands that attack you back.
Yeah.
Usually.
I mean, I could push it down. Or I could move it. Depends on if it has a handle.
Could you gently lift the table while keeping everything on it?
Probably.
Try.
Yeah, I'm gonna lift
She puts
up.
her, like, she's probably drinking out of a wine glass. She puts the wine glass down on the table.
Can you pull this out in front of the table?
Well, I'm trying to see. What I'm trying to do is see how precise you can be.
Oh, okay.
Wash picks up this drink.
Yeah,
I
Shay's
think
just like sipping her mead.
This is gonna be very he puts his hand on the edge of the table next to him, and at first he lifts it up at like an angle.
Who's not keeping the drink on the table? Casimir's gonna put his down.
Shay does not. Shay's sipping.
Codex does?
Yeah, she'll leave it on the table.
Isa's will stay. She hasn't touched it.
Yeah, put mine down, but I'm fully ready. Like, if it tips, I'm gonna like put my pencil to like.
Oh, yeah,
make sure
yeah.
it doesn't spill right on my
Yeah.
dress that I'm wearing.
Yeah.
I think it takes a second to assess the situation because as slowly as his brain processes, he's like, if I just lift this side, everything's gonna go that way, probably. So he tips it up a little bit. I think everyone's drinks like spill, like not spill, but like start to lean. He puts it down, and then he tries to lift with like the bottom of his fingers so he can lift up the other side.
Make a dex check.
What's my dex? Because that'll be
Because they switch with your wisdom and
plus with
intelligence. Right?
wisdom. Nothing changes. Natural 20!
You kind of like fiddle with it and then put your hands like kind of like more firmly under it with maybe your forearm a bit, and you lift it up like pretty easily and just put it down.
Nice.
Probably as far as it goes up is probably like it goes up to like everybody's like collarbone when you lift it up.
Did I do a good job?
Incredible.
Yes.
You like toss me a snack, like a piece of bread, and I'm like,
I'm like trying to not treat you like a child, but I'm like incredible. Like,
How many of you would that take that isn't Terry?
what is the table made of?
Stone.
Oh, cool.
At least all of us.
Why don't everybody else try without Terry?
I mean, this guy thinks he's tough.
else?
He gives you a big, like, weird grin. Like, you could do it.
Again, with the fucking stone table.
Oh, okay. He winks at you for some reason.
Yes.
You're so modest.
I think during this, Shay's gonna uncork whatever one of the casts, the like little mini casts they brought, and just like put it down in front of Terry. Yeah, just like.
Why don't you all try, the 5 of you?
All right.
Yes, all of you try without Terry.
I will count.
All right.
Good luck.
I still have disadvantage on ability checks.
Oh, are you still exhausted?
Yep.
Fantastic. Are we doing dex?
Everyone make a strength check first. And I'm going to make a check with my... Actually, no, with my D100.
Terry leans over to Shay and is like, Shay,
Yep, that makes sense.
what are the first 3 numbers?
The first 3 numbers?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, cool. Okay.
There you
That's
go.
what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
you hear like.
I thought it, I felt it somewhere. Okay. Ready? 1, 2,
4.
4. 4.
Lisa! Okay, Shay.
Terrible 5.
5. Codex.
Are we using athletics or just strength?
Just strength, please.
12.
12. Issa.
Natural 1.
Great.
Me having a +4 in strength and being like natural 1. Me being a paladin, having an 18, I'm like, and a natural?
Yeah. Wash.
16.
16.
Nice.
21.
Hell yeah.
I
Wow.
rolled a 19 to
21.
get
So your side of the table is gonna fucking flip.
Yeah.
I hold my cards.
What was Codex? Were you 9?
12.
I rolled so bad. I got a 5.
5. Okay, so
I think I wasn't
you guys
even
got
trying.
a 55. I think that's 55 in total.
I also think Issa wasn't trying. Like, she's just like...
Like one-handing it.
Yeah, I rolled a 66. So it like, but you can't. It's really fucking hard to lift up for flavor. So you're not even gonna make a dex check because you can't even lift it.
Yeah.
So that is an asset you have,
It is.
and you are not
do have an
volatile.
Correct.
What?
Terry,
Yeah.
you're not volatile.
What does that mean?
How long does this usually last?
30 minutes.
No.
Oh,
You'd only seen it last
Oh.
one.
Terrence told you 30.
That note says make me take another one in 30
In
minutes.
30. You don't even know.
But-
You don't even know that it lasts.
Recently, as far as you've seen in combat, it goes away really fast.
A minute at most.
It seems usually a minute, but this is already surpassed that.
So you're not volatile, so maybe that makes it last longer. Though, once, I'm assuming, he gets induced into a rage or combat, that minute timer starts.
So, I think so. Yeah. I'm not scared.
Terry,
Scared.
and you would kind of watch as like Cazamir just like lifts out of the chair, just floating, and then floats over to the other side of the table.
Is he cross-legged too? Just like...
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is good.
If I tell you, and he kind of whispers, if I tell you that I'm not actually trying to hurt you, can you pretend like I am?
You want me to pretend? Out loud. You want me to pretend?
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, and whispering again, so no one else necessarily will hear it, but I'm going to pretend to attack you, but you're going to stay calm.
Not for real.
And then, no, not for reals. And then you're going to hold me. So I can't move.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Right, okay.
In this
Yep.
in this food.
5 seconds, I'm going to walk that way and turn around, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Do you
great.
want me to stand up?
Yes, please, thank you.
He gets
then-
out and the table goes cook cook. His thighs are like pressed against the table,
Yeah.
like between the fucking.
7.5 foot tall,
Says skull crusher.
54-inch wide gorilla. It's not a bad brain; it's a good brain. Anyway, so Cazamir kind of like stands up, walks kind of that way. And if you guys don't remember, he has kind of like this blue like coat that he wears, and you kind of watch. He's like quick, like does this like really fast and cool suave dex move of like this like kind of like turn, and you kind of watch as he kind of like semi crouches and his nails get long and his eyes kind of glow yellow. You see his fangs, and he's like, ah! And his face kind of like crinkles, almost like Buffy vampires.
What
as
should
he-
I roll to not feel threatened?
Yeah.
Right?
Roll intelligence.
I was worried.
It's -3.
Fuck.
It's
For reference, Terrence's strength is -3 usually. So this flip makes the intelligence.
Oh my god. Fuck.
But I rolled an 8, so a 5.
So with a 5, I did roll lower. You see, like as you kind of like.
I think he's like smiling, like looking at the table, and then he turns and it just drops, and I think his eyes go like really. His eyes go big and his pupils dilate. Like it's very like. But his like he's like.
Yeah, like that happens. Like it's like almost an instant, so that because Cazamir notices immediately, so that you don't freak out. Cazamir will quick like drop it and wink, and then back to it. And you're like, oh, okay.
He like wipes his brow. Like, oh my god. I look at the rest of them. Like, did you see that guy?
But the whole back of your shirt has that like sweat mark on it.
Yeah. But Cazamir like still darts right at you, and you're gonna have to try to grapple him.
Okay.
So make your grapple check, and I'll go against you with athletics or acrobatics. I'm sorry.
That is just
It's your athletics, unless no, yeah, it's your athletics.
It's cock.
That's like,
Why am I rolling so bad?
In this restaurant.
Huh?
yeah. It's like,
As this is happening, Codex leans over to Wash and is just like, "Are we gonna get thrown out?"
Probably.
Just like every other restaurant we go to.
Can't bring you anywhere.
13?
13. Okay. Casimir does get over that, but Casimir's just gonna be like as you like kind of grabbing Casimir's like trying to slip out, Casimir just like lets you grapple him.
No.
I'm like holding him.
And you're like
against
yeah, I did it. Like
Did I do it right? Did I do a good job?
it was a good try. Look, I am now grappled and I cannot move.
I look at everyone with like this big grin. I'm like, you can't move.
Good job, Terry.
I
You
can't
did it.
move. Would you put me down, please? Can you put me down, please?
For reals?
Yes, for reals.
Okay.
Just dangling there limply.
Guys, I think we need to talk about what happened earlier. I know it's a little awkward because Kaz is here.
I can leave. Kaz gets up and
Yeah.
leaves.
Bye.
Yeah, she's like, I think it's awkward because you're here.
Yeah, I'll get a drink and I'll just be at the bar far enough away that I won't be able to hear you. I'll be on the other side where there's a lot of people talking.
Has anyone called him Kaz? Or has he just been called Casimir?
Casimir usually.
Casimir.
So we call him.
Yeah, Issa calls him Kaz. It's the only.
I will return when you request me. And kind of goes off.
How is everyone feeling? Because Codex, you don't seem like you're feeling well.
No, I'm keeping it together, so, you know.
I'm keeping it together.
Terry has like a sad face and does the two fingers bunny rabbit thing and look like across because he's kind of across from you and he like does it too and he like looks kind of sad.
Yeah, she kind of like meets your eyes and she like wiggles her ears back and she's like, yeah, big guy.
We'll go for a run.
No.
Maybe not right now, but
No,
maybe...
later.
Yeah, okay.
She has definitely pulled her legs up too, and she's like leaning her back on Terry, and just like kind of sipping and staring at everything.
Terry's blushing. You only care about me when I'm big. You only like
Size does matter.
I guess if no one else wants to share, I'll share. I don't like it at all. I'm happy to go with the flow. She like literally just copies what Kaz said to I think it was one. Like, I'm happy to go with the flow and see where this partnership takes us, but I mean, it does not seem like this is the best way to go about things.
Don't you worship this god?
No, I worship their daughter.
So it doesn't matter.
So yes, if that god were to, expire or disappear, I'm sure that most of my energy would go along with it. But that's not my concern. I don't need powers to powers. Let's take that out. I don't need the energy from God to live my life here, but it's something that I'm accustomed to, but it's also not something that I'm unwilling to part with. It's just the consequence for this happening would be catastrophic across the whole burg. And I agree that things are going awry up here and that the structure should change, and that obviously Balthazar and probably Fiara, they're probably up to something separate, and it's bad. And I know Balthazar has bad intentions, and it doesn't seem like Fiara has great intentions. So, how are you feeling? And she'll look back at Shay, because Shay had interjected while she was talking.
I think that things need to be shaken up in order to progress forward. How much it needs to be shaken up, I'm undecided on right now.
Terry takes like a big finger and puts it on your forehead and says Terry takes like a big finger and puts it on your forehead and kind of like pushes you back a little bit. Not like no force. It's just like, you seemed angry.
Maybe I was.
You made it dark.
Yes, I did.
Why?
Oh, that's not something we're going to get into right now.
Are you mad at me?
No, Terry, I could never be mad at you.
1, how are you feeling?
You probably look at her. She's like really just focused in on Terry, like writing notes the whole time.
He winks.
Yes. Yes.
You wink and she writes and goes.
Can I ask what you're writing down?
Yeah, I have a whole list of. It's like I'm writing things like cognitive abilities seem to be reduced, but still memory seems hazy. I'm saying I'm writing like things that you do remember because there's like you remember emotion, you remember generals, but you don't remember exact. Like you don't remember God, but you do remember that Shay was upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm writing like physically what's going on with the body too.
No personality.
I am writing the personality. I wrote that
Much more
one of the
likable.
first things,
Much less stressed out.
yeah, one of the first things I think I wrote. Hold on.
Anxiety 0. Charm
Was
Charm 100.
can maintain pleasant disposition, can still express full range of emotions, just
Interesting.
differently.
Cool. All right, cool. Sorry.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. You ask her a question, she is writing down that you wink at everything. You wink at people when they stare at you.
A little squirrel on the, just like a squirrel with a nut.
Yeah, exactly.
Finger guns.
I think so. 1 didn't respond to Isa.
Not really. Like she's like trying, like she's like, hold on.
Yes, 1. What did you think of the whole situation?
I don't want to talk about it until we have everybody fully cognitively here.
Issa does a slight nod. I understand. Wash. It's important for all of us to discuss this because there's a lot was just requested of us. And I know hopefully we're starting small with menial tasks, but if that is the direction that our co-patron wants us to go in, then I need to know how. I'm not the leader. I don't mean to say it like that, but I want to know how dedicated to each of the causes each of us here are.
She asked us not to talk about it, so I won't. But if we get to fighting a god, I might rethink that.
He slammed his fist on the table.
Oh my god.
All the glasses just.
Yeah.
No one is talking about their feelings.
Terry, I just talked about my feelings.
Yes, Issa, you do. You are good at that. You're good. But everyone...
Codex is also normally good at it too, so let's just credit where credit is due. Terry, how are you feeling? Let's circle back.
I am feeling fine. I don't remember a lot, but I do think that there's a lot of... He gestures with his hands a line, and then gestures below the line, and he puts his hands on his chest. No one wants to talk about it. What? It seemed, I would talk about it if I remembered what we were talking about, but everyone seems to hold it in and is making them more mad. I think.
Yes.
He kind of shrinks, like not shrinks, but he like sinks down because he thinks he made you mad.
Bumps the table again.
No, Terry, you're right. I think everyone needs to be more honest with each other, and maybe, like one said, this might not be the time. Maybe we wait until we're in our own space, but all of us together, and we, like Codex tried last night, 5 hours ago. Let's
This morning.
let's sit down and let's talk about. And she kind of shrugs in Terry's direction. Our feelings. Because we are, whether we like it or not, we're here, we're together, and we have countless patrons that are telling us things we need to do. So we're all kind of in this together right now. We need to act like it.
I think you are all my friends.
Agreed, Terry. And Terrence, both of you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He points at Wash like he's gonna say something, but then he winks.
Terry's trying to get it.
Is he? No one
I
knows.
don't know.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Even he doesn't know.
Yeah, he just keeps winking. Everyone at the table's like,
It's just he gets nervous.
Is that it?
Wash has no response.
Okay, I'll take this L if no one else is gonna talk about it. Just like, I know when I first met a lot of you, I was like, are we using code names, or do we all have secret stuff that we're not doing? And then no one gave me any update on that, so I've been using my real name for a lot of this, and then Issa was like, don't do that, and now we're here again. So I guess this is just a check-in. On what the fuck am I supposed to be calling everyone here? Are you still one, or are you Connie, or can I come up with a fun new name for you, like Leah?
Leah?
A fun.
Corn.
Wash, I mean, we don't have to go into that, but, I mean, for the sake of, everything going on, I don't know if, subtlety is really what I should be doing at this point. So, what the fuck is going on?
Seemed like you had a last name that was different. No, Codex?
No. My, Codex Amala is my full name. Codex Amala is my full first name that I was given at the orphanage, but, everybody just, it's kind of long, a little wordy, so.
Did you say orphanage?
Yeah, yeah. My dad's a gnome, so I was adopted.
I mean,
Me
my
and my
parents are humans. Issa's like, my parents are humans, and I wasn't adopted. Khan's like, were you? Khan's like, are you sure?
I was adopted along with my brother. We were really little, but my dad's kept the names that were written on the piece of paper that was left with us. So it's just really wordy. So I just go by short. But we don't have to focus on me. That's normal stuff. People get adopted all the time.
All the time.
Wash, I'm assuming that it's Wash just across the board and one. Are we also doing that, or?
Yes, it's Wash.
It's one.
Okay, cool. And she like full processing for a second, as she kind of like looks down at her drink, and then she kind of like not like fluffs back up, but like she like gets some of like the like bounce back in her, and she kind of like looks directly at Wash, and she's like, okay, I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off. Your real name is Felix?
Yeah.
It's very cute.
Probably 30 minutes is also probably coming up, by the way.
Oh yeah.
If you just hand it to me, I think he'll know.
Yeah. I probably like the paw on my thigh. I kind of like hand a slide over one to you. If it's this way, I'm gonna be like, let's not use the word real name. If we know Wash as Wash, Wash's name is Wash.
It's fine. Yeah, my parents gave me the name Felix.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
Were these your homeschool parents?
Yep.
So I think there are many things here we should discuss in private when it's not in a public area. But for the overall, are we all on board of staying with both Seraphima and Fiara to see where it goes and doing tasks as needed, just to see where it goes? Are we agreed on that as a whole?
Yeah.
What about
It's the safest option.
True. I don't know if Sean really wants anything more to do with us, but I feel like Issa would know more than me.
I don't trust Sham. So,
I mean, Sham's working with Fiara, and also he's working for both of them, so.
Right. So keep him at a distance, noted. But as long as we're still in this as a whole, I feel like we can continue as a party then. As the fate fates.
I think we have to.
I think we've been bought as such.
Issa nods in agreement, and then she'll probably go find Cazamir if he's not already coming back.
Yeah, Kaz is just at the like the bar, just drinking out of a goblet. Things go well. Did my charisma and uniqueness serve any?
No, that's really.
You've got the nerve, but you've got the talent.
So did that help at all, me using my excitable charisma and uniqueness to make everybody talk their feelings out and what they feel about the whole project?
Oh, I think we talked way more when you left. I think they're more willing to be open when our patron's brother isn't around.
Right.
Why did you do the experiment with Terry?
Curious?
Yeah.
It might be helpful. To you all.
Well, you are a collector of information.
I wouldn't call myself a collector, just more of an observer. It's not like I collect it and hoard it somewhere, I just see things.
Do you just share it with Fiara, what you feel is necessary, or do you also share things with your brother?
A smile kind of like creeps up on his face. You don't trust me.
I do trust you. But I want to know, and it's not deception, it's like a full... I do trust you because you came to me and shared information that no one else has or knows. And I don't know why you came to me, and I don't know why you trust me. But it makes me trust you. So why do you trust me?
Well, he kind of chuckles a little bit, just like a kind of like a not like a just like a yeah. It looks like he's like trying to find the words. I'm not necessarily a person who takes sides. Though I will say, whatever side my brother Balthazar has, I will never find myself parallel to it. Ever. If that lightens any curiosities about my dealings with Balthazar.
Does he know that?
He doesn't really care.
How long have you been watching me?
I started watching you since Shom hired you.
Yeah. From the fight club?
No, after that.
Before graduation?
Yes.
Did you know graduation was going to happen?
Not necessarily, no.
But you had an idea.
I had an idea something was going to happen at the summit.
But you didn't know it was going to happen everywhere else?
No.
Did you do anything to try and stop it?
No.
And was it just your brother involved in graduation, or?
He kind of shakes his head like slightly and says, I don't know.
Okay.
If we're going to be digging at one another, why lie about all of the things you lie?
I'm gonna tell them later today.
Really?
Yeah, but I need to talk to Terrence first. I owe him that.
I was talking about your parents.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, those lies. Yeah.
What lies are you talking about?
It's too many to keep straight.
Your lover?
Can you stop calling him that?
Sure.
She's just like, ugh. They wouldn't have approved. I don't know, I'm sure you know my parents. They're not lesser known. They're huge in the 8th, and it wouldn't have looked good if I went to Providence. So I went to Holy Sun, like they wanted, and like everyone expected. And then I just kind of, I don't know, I wanted to do other things. And then they're just, I don't know how they'd react if I told them I didn't follow their path, I guess. Why didn't I follow their path? Because I don't get it. I don't get it.
So then why are you so apt to quickly defend the life of a god?
I'm not defending the life of a god. It's the implication of what your sister wants is probably will be catastrophic to the whole of the burg of Zabraria. It's not just...
What about the rest of Zodona, the world?
Yeah. The implications are far-reaching.
You watch as he kind of like prestidigitations, like what looks like a small sun in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it happens. And he kind of clasps his hand and it just like disappears, the sun. What catastrophes do you see? My voice probably sounds very like snide, but he does look pretty still. Like there's sometimes he'll smile, but most of the time he's still keeping that like stone face. There are times he'll smile, and I'm trying to tell you when I do, but...
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Issa sighs and takes a moment to think, and I think she's just kind of exasperated, and she's holding both of her hands out, trying to explain what she's about to say, but I understand what Fiara is saying, that things need to be uncovered, that people using the sun and Zaharas for their own gain or for misdeeds, they should be brought to light. I understand that, but there are also a lot of people relying on that to do good. And if you take that away, I don't know where that leaves us.
Kind of like lightly nods. My curiosity about most of this is less of wrong and right in the eyes of what happens if one of the protector gods of this world, this universe, is gone, and more in the longevity of the current pantheon when little less than half of them are trapped away.
And do you want those untrapped?
Not necessarily, but think about it. Kesak, the god of suffering, pain, and sorrow, now semi-unleashed onto the world, posing as the partner of Arathia Burke, Ball of the Onyx Obscurity. Suffering, pain, and sorrow has existed in his time of slumber. What god was in charge of that? And how is there... Or maybe how long until their power wanes, being in charge of something they shouldn't be?
I think pain and suffering and sorrow exist without a god that you need to worship for it, but it's more people weren't able to harness magic in that way without you had to use, I don't know, I can't tell you morally evil and wrong and good, and I can't get into that because I don't know. There's no right or wrong here. She just laughs. Okay, yeah. So obviously pain and sorrow and suffering exist without Kesak. I know that. But I think people are now more able to harness him and those elements, which are, they bring balance, I think. I think those things are important in life, but harnessing those entities for magic, I don't know. It doesn't bode well.
I meant more in the fact that for millennia, and still, since he is now tethered to Arathia, the god of a certain feeling, ideology, way of being, has not been the person pulling those strings. Now, I'm not saying that a god is enacting suffering, sorrow, and pain, but one god will have to be in charge of that. Just as I think if Zaharis is killed, there might be a time without the sun, but I'm sure someone will have to take up the mantle. Mm-hmm. My point with...
Like someone... someone took up the mantle with Zentra.
Exactly. I just more wonder if... Like I said earlier, this state of peace is getting stale because we need all acting parts to this machine to have a more well-rounded place. I don't know. I'm curious about it. If I want one thing out of everything, I just would like to uproot and destroy whatever killed my parents, whatever changed us, and whatever poisoned, in all honesty, both Balthazar and Fiara. One mad with power and one mad with sorrow. I think everyone has sorrow from it, but Fiara, I think, has the brunt of it. I don't have an idea, but I know it's connected to the sun, as everything is in Zabraria.
If they're acting from sorrow and anger and whatnot, I mean, what do you feel? Like, they came for you on your birthday? You can't not have some sort of... I mean... And she, probably will touch his chest, right where the heart, and just be like, you can't have something. If you feel that strongly about finding out what happened to you, then you're feeling something. And you think that we can help?
I think it's because I feel helpless. I feel like a wretch. He kind of chuckles. I feel a little like a wraith, but no actual goal on what to do to pass on. Which also makes it seem like I want to die, but I don't know if that's the case either. I just want to live the life I've been given, and I'm trying to figure that out at every step of the way. But I try not to have it quell my spirits too much. It kind of smiles a bit.
She'll return the smile very softly though. Take her hand off of his heart, just kind of say, I trust you. We started this conversation. I trust you. I think you are one of the most honest people I've met. And I appreciate that. And I think it's important to find out what happened to your parents and why you were targeted.
All I can say, and I think some of your friends can agree, when the sun goes down and there's nothing but shadows, people's real faces come out.
Okay.
Well, and as he's trying to think of something to say, you kind of watch off his lapel there is a little just this ruby symbol. It looks kind of like a heart with a dagger going through the bottom of it, and you kind of see it light up for a second as it kind of flies up next to his ear, and you don't hear anything. It just flies up next to his ear and then goes back down onto his lapel. Well, it looks like your keep is all ready for you all. I don't know about staff, but I can at least take you there if you'd like to see it or sleep there tonight.
That sounds good.
Great, let's return to your party members.
As he's like turning around, she's just gonna be like, thank you for being honest. And then she'll like go with him back to the table.
He just kind of like nods and then turns. All right, fated fates. Have we eaten well?
Terry has like a steak on a fork because he's not using the knife, and it's just like he's like gnawing at the end of it.
How much do you eat?
He probably eats a lot. Like there's a like.
This is his fourth steak.
Yeah, he's ordered quite a bit. I would say there's been like several rounds of food and like a lot of beer. Like whatever that like cask was, he's probably had it like filled up again. And he doesn't seem any drunker than. It's like hard to tell because he's so stupid, but like he's like. It doesn't seem like he's intoxicated in any way.
Well, I can take you to your new housing, if you'd like.
Ooh. Is it a big house?
It's a keep, yes?
Okay.
Are there at least beds?
Yes, there are beds.
I think we should.
Yep.
All right, well, I'll just leave the tab and then we'll go. So he kind of like walks up to the bartender and like, you see them talk for a bit. You never see any money dropped. And then Cazamir just like kind of gestures to you all as Cower kind of like comes up next to him and then it starts to go. Yeah, so as you guys like kind of make your way there, you kind of walk through what looks like the very nice, expensive district. You see these huge buildings. One that looks like it has like a glass, not stained, but almost like this stained glass like dome over the top of one of its stone structures. Cazamir is walking by, kind of say, that's the Opera House. And then Codex, just Codex, I guess, or anybody else who might have been there, but Codex for sure. You recognize what looks like the very tall arched building that have the very long, tall windows on the front and sides of it as the Silent Museum, which you went to as a kid for your birthday. There's a very fancier marketplace. It's not as known urban as the one that's closer to the summit. It's much more like refined. I mean, there's still stuff there. Like there's still people that have tents or they have like little stalls, but there seems to be like fancier buildings. It's much more clean and well kept. And there are people who are kind of hustling and bustling in very expensive clothes. People who are wearing like, bustles and like 3-piece suits. Like it's a much fancier area that you've kind of passed through. That's like the main area. They say that's called the Silent Oasis, which is where the museum is, the Opera House is, and also you do see the casinos not too far off from in that Silent Oasis area where the marketplace is. You pass a little bit north by it when you come upon what looks like this very well kept steel wall, steel and rock inlaid wall that you come to the entrance of that looks like a very, very nice entrance and courtyard that has this fountain in the middle that kind of spurts out from 4 sides. And you see this very pristine white stone keep.
Ooh.
This is the Pale Keep.
It's like a white castle. Pale Keep, White Castle. I like White Castle, personally.
Right. So this is where your lodging will be. This is where Fiara and Seraphima have decided they will allow you to stay. Of course, you can always, with your own money, be funded to keep somewhere else in one of the other precincts. That is totally fine. But this is what has been given as an offer from your patrons.
Lovely.
But this is yours, and the deed, as you kind of watch, he pulls out of his pocket, but it looks like it's like forming in his hand, like from this like kind of pink and red magic, is yours, and he kind of hands it out to Issa. What happens under here in its roof is the choice of the fated fates.
Excellent.
Thank you. I think she just softly smiles, takes it from his hand. They linger 1 second too long with their hands touching. No, and then, the finger brush. No, and then she's like, thanks. Yeah. When will we see you again?
If you need me, you know you can find me. Usually by the Nairmont Society. And I'm sure there'll be a way that we can keep in contact if Fiara continues with her ideas for the coming future. You should be receiving something soon, hopefully a letter of some type that will be from a Lightfoot. Since Fiara is the one in charge of all of that.
True.
Okay.
Well then with that, Fated Fates, I will leave you to it. Currently, no staff. If you'd like to hire your own, the more to you. You will find a sum of gold in your treasury. I suggest not spending it all at once. And then he kind of just like turns and starts walking away with Cower.
Thank you, Cazamir.
I think Issa gets one more head scratch in on Cower when Cower turns away.
And then Cower just like kind of like rushes up to be behind Cazamir.
No.
Terry is inching towards the door and is like, I get the biggest room! And he goes and goes to like open it and run through.
Yes.
As you like go to run through, you it's been 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I love it.
I mean, he probably like opens the door and like immediately like trips and falls. Like, oh fuck. Okay.
Oh, you're
I
probably
pull out
so
the journal
drunk.
and just like quick.
I'm
Journal.
hammered.
Just go unconscious. Like,
What the? Okay. I still want the biggest room, and he's gonna slowly inch into the.
amazing.
So when you kind of go in, there is this kind of main entrance that kind of leads to two halls. When you go through those two halls, they both seem to lead to this large dining room that then has a kitchen on the opposite side. From the right of the dining room, there is a more like a lounge, a salon, a living room. And then to the left, it looks like something that could be a barracks, an armory, whatever you want to put there. From the armory, there is a door that leads to a type of basement. That is where the treasury is. It does look like it's locked, and it is locked by a tumble with numbers. So maybe Cazamir left the pin or the number, or like what you need to do to untumble it. Maybe, hopefully, we hope.
We'll see.
Going past the kitchen, there is a way to get into a center courtyard. There are rooms on the first floor. If you go back that way, there are also, when you go to the second floor, that is where you can find a study. That is where you can find like kind of more like a lounge drinking room that has like a little bit of a bar and a small fireplace. And then there are other rooms up on that floor. When it comes to the third floor, you can go to a third floor where it is sometimes covered by a stone ceiling or just open air up on the top of the keep.
Cool. Very cool.
So yeah, so there are rooms first floor all the way to the back or second floor.
Second floor. Shay wants to be by the bar study area.
Gotcha.
Whichever room would be closest to both.
I will join you in that area because it seems relaxing.
Yeah.
After I claim the biggest room, of course.
Are there any rooms with balconies?
There are. There are a couple rooms with balconies near the front part of the keep on the second floor, and there is one available now, two on the second floor next to Terrence's room. So, it's one where Terrence's is, because Terrence has like a little window with a balcony to the end, or to the outside, where I would say the back faces near where the Silent Oasis is. So you can probably see the tops of the museum and all that stuff. And you guys do have a lot of greenery around in that fenced area. You do have that courtyard in the middle, and as well as a little bit of trim of grass and like a small like creek in the back and trees.
If she can get one with a balcony that overlooks the Silent Oasis, is that possible?
That'd be the one next to Terrence.
She'll look for the smallest room that is available. Not a closet, but like small. She doesn't need a lot of space, so.
If it's possible in schematics, Shay wants kind of a view of the entrance of the house from that floor, if it's possible. She wants as much viewpoint of the interior as possible.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, Issa's gonna take a first floor room to be like closest, maybe to the entrance.
So all the first floors are only in the back. Is that okay?
Yeah, the one that's closest to the entrance. Like, it can be in the back, but like just as...
Do you want left or right? Doesn't matter.
Left.
Gotcha.
It does matter, so...
Good, I'll just make right is where the servant quarters are.
Fuck! Yeah.
Wash is gonna look for the treasury and take whatever room's left.
Okay. Probably on the second floor.
Just excited to have a wound.
Right?
Cool. All right.
At least we got somewhere to sleep tonight. What time is it during the day?
It's probably like 8 p.m., let's say.
Great. Are we all settled in our rooms?
Yeah, it's up
I
to
have an
y'all.
idea unless somebody else wants to do something, because this will be a one-on-one.
I think it's too late to go to the marketplace, so I'm probably settling in for the night.
Okay.
I have thoughts, but so does Wash look exhausted?
Yes.
Yes, but Wash is going to find Codex.
Oh god. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. You probably. I mean, if you want to do it now, you can. But I can tell you, like, if you're like going to her room, she is literally like about to leave, and she has both of her sword and her parry dagger, like her gear, with her. She's just like,
Oh, hi.
You going somewhere?
no, and she just throws it off to the side.
Cool. Smooth.
Right.
We all believe you.
Okay, so I'm not gonna do a lesson tonight. I'm fucking beat, but I think maybe you'd learn better if we got to know each other more.
She, her eyes get real wide for a second, and then she kind of gets this, like, real awkward smile, and she's like, yeah, okay, you don't want to do that now, though, right? Or, I mean, you look tired, so...
Whenever's best for you.
Okay, well, I got nothing going on, but, did you sleep okay?
No.
Okay. Maybe, we could eat breakfast together.
Sure, I'm gonna, I guess, work out in the morning. I haven't done that in a while. If you'd like to join me.
Yeah, sure.
Alright. Tomorrow then. Good night.
Good night. Wash. And she kind of, like, watches you walk down the hallway, and then she grabs her gear and runs.
But I love to watch him leave.
She's like, nice. No.
Oh, there's also a little bathhouse. There's like a little bathroom.
Fuck
We need one. We need one of those.
I'm going there now then.
Bathhouse.
Bathhouse, and Issa's naked in the bath. Yeah.
Question for Codex. Where did you run to? Are you, like, leaving? To what?
To Shay's room. To your room.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
She just knocks on your door.
Who says my door's closed?
I don't know, is your door closed?
Nope.
She knocks on the wall. Then she's standing in your doorway, knocks on the wall next to your door. She has, like, all of her gear on, so she's like, she looks like she's ready to leave.
Oh. Hello, Codex.
Hey.
Dark in your room. Like, I imagine it's like
100%.
pitch black and you just hear the voice.
Yeah, you cannot see me at all. There's probably, like, a window where you can see the outside, and that's it.
This is nice. She's, like, trying to look around her room, and, like... I'm sure we have candles somewhere or we could buy some,
I don't need them.
Anyway,
Yeah, so I came here because I feel like we should probably address the really, large elephant in the room.
Have you walked into my room at all? Are you, like, searching around? Kind of?
She is still standing in your doorway. She has not crossed the threshold.
Perfect. I'm gonna try to pull you in. Is this opposing strength?
No, she's not opposing it. She'd just let you yoink her. She's not a resisting. I mean, she's scared, but she's like, huh.
Shay pulls you in and slams the door behind them both, and you're now, like, in most all darkness.
Okay.
Continue, Codex.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I just got the feeling that you might be mad, which I get. I mean, I don't really know. Okay, so let me start over. I came here because I felt like maybe you would be mad at me, which I don't understand why, but I also understand. And then I thought maybe the best way that we could sort out whatever's going. Do you want to spar?
Spa?
Yeah, not right now because I can't see and that kind of sucks. But
do you think that will
You know.
help explain something?
no, I just know that like sometimes when we would have like my brother and I would have arguments, we would just like fight. Sometimes, and I would always win because he's kind of a nerd. But now it like
You hear directly next to your ear. That sounds like a fantastic idea.
she jumps like 3 feet in the air. She's so on edge. She's like, okay, cool. So we could go outside. We have a yard, which is really cool. We could, I could do it in the courtyard. If I could see.
You hear the shing of something like unsheathing.
Sydney, did you roll a new character before we came into this session?
Yeah, Con and I actually have a
Do you
whole
have
thing.
one ready?
I have a new character, yeah. Yeah.
And then the door opens of its own accord, it seems. After you.
Jesus, this is horrifying.
Issa's walking to the bath and she's like, what the fuck? Wait, hold on. Wait.
Issa Codex, full gear, just like, okay, bye. Yeah, she honestly probably stands pretty still for a second and like kind of like is looking at the door. And then you hear like a really, really soft and like very sincere, I'm really sorry.
We'll get to that later.
Okay. And she kind of like just heads out the door and towards the courtyard. That's probably in the middle of our place.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Perfect.
Is it okay? I was going to say I was working in the courtyard. Is that okay?
Sure.
Bring it on!
This is not metagaming. I literally was going to say I was probably working on something in the courtyard.
Yes.
Just to have like space. I like being in the,
So
the
excited.
courtyard.
Since Shay and I said originally we were in the study, I'm gonna probably redact that, considering we're not there anymore. I would have gone to find you because I'm normal now, and even if I'm a little drunk, I'm like, tell me everything.
Get sleep and we'll talk about it.
No, I want to hear it now. At least let me see your notes.
I hand you the notebook.
This is not English. No, this is not common.
Elvin.
Oh wait, the code. I like pull it out of my pocket.
She like reaches back and puts her hand on the paper and the common appears on top of it.
Thank you. Like, normally, I'm very close to having it memorized. You just gave it to me yesterday.
She's probably working too, and I want you to know the way she's working on it is she's heating metal and just touching it and manipulating the metal as she's like. So it's like it's red hot, and she's just like.
He probably like notices, but is like too out of it right now to like comprehend or like to deal with that. He's like,
All right.
it's in there, I promise. And he's probably just sitting next to you. Like I think he's like half reading, half like falling asleep, but like. Is he writes in the can you change it if I write it?
Yeah.
Okay. He writes not tired from exhaustion like the other times, but too much alcohol. Doesn't transfer well.
You see one of the last notes is it seems inebriation accumulates.
Yeah, okay. But he's probably just sitting there reading what you wrote and every now and then probably asks you like a question about it to like either clarify or like elaborate if it's in shorthand. Yeah, he's just sitting next to you while you're doing whatever you're doing.
Oh. Just chill in the courtyard doing their science team thing.
Yeah. We should pick a room.
Right. Does Codex appear in the courtyard?
Yeah, she walks out into the courtyard, and you guys see she has like she's wearing like her normal adventure gear, and then her swords are on her back, and she has like a harness almost. That's like it looks like it's probably like her modified postal worker harness that she used to wear. They have bags and stuff, and now it carries her swords. And she kind of just walks out, and she kind of like takes a deep breath and like turns around to like look to see if Shay followed her.
Shay definitely just appears out of shadows, like by where you just exited. Both of her swords are drawn, and there are like shadowy, like smoky tendrils coming off her body, mostly from her tattoos. If you want to look closely,
I was gonna say, is that visible to everyone, or is it only if we like choose to try?
only if you choose to see it. Yeah. So, Codex, if you have the wherewithal.
Yeah, I mean, she's looking at Shay. She's not trying, like, she is studying you for a second, and she's probably trying to gauge how angry you are.
I look at one, seeing this on the other side of the courtyard. Should we be concerned?
No, it's fine. Probably.
We'll be here.
Tremble.
We can just go back in.
I feel like we should not.
Do you want me to roll
Very
insight?
Yeah, try an insight.
I got a nat 20.
Yes, I love it. So you're trying to gauge like how angry I was?
She's trying to gauge how angry you are at her, but also how angry you are just in general, if that makes sense. She's trying to gauge whether it's pointed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Codex really gets the feeling that it's pointed directly at her, but you can see this is like the most stone-faced, kind of stoic, furrowed brow that you have ever seen on Shay, and you see a green glint go across her eyes more than once. They like are almost a glowing green, but it seems like it's getting caught in different lighting. And she's very, very slowly like walking towards you with both of her swords in her hands.
All right. Yeah, Codex kind of like just makes eye contact with Shay, and she seems relatively calm. And she kind of like stands up, it gets into her fighter stance and draws her. She has a short sword and a parry dagger. And she kind of flips the parry dagger into like a reverse grip. And she's like, I'm holding my hits. I don't want to have to wake Issa up for healing.
Oh my god.
What's that?
I really enjoy Codex.
Terrence gets closer.
Ooh. No, Issa's having the most calming bath of her life. One eye open to make sure Cazamir's not, like, creeping on her in the bath again. But then Issa's whole thing was going to find Terrence before the whole group met. But she is not out there yet.
Excellent. As soon as Codex says that, Shay gives a little half smile on the right side. Can you give me an int save?
Whoop!
God.
Hey, yo!
Just to be clear, Codex did not say this as a threat. She was like, I hope you're gonna hold your... Like, in her mind, she's like...
Oh, it came off so far.
Yeah, she's like, in her mind, she's like, I hope she knows we're not trying to kill each other.
No, it came out bad.
Perfect. You know what? That works for her. What am I doing?
Give me an intelligence save.
Damn, if it was any other save. 15. I got a 16, but she's a -1.
Great, perfect. Just what I needed. Oh god, you take 6 psychic damage.
Oh no.
So describe what happens.
After you said, I'm gonna hold my punches, I don't want to wake up Issa, she has that little half smile, and you see her eyes, like, somewhat, like, glow green again, and then just this tinge of just spikes straight into your forehead.
Oh my
It,
god.
like, feels almost just like a steel knife just goes directly into that, and she flourishes her weapons and gets into a fighting stance. Whenever you're ready.
She takes like she like kind of like collects herself from that hit, and she just takes a deep breath, and she's like, okay. And she kind of just starts moving towards you, carefully. I mean, you haven't really seen her fight with her sword. She's mostly been casting. She's very light on her feet. It makes sense. But she comes off as very brash. In this one, she is very carefully studying how you're moving and trying to like anticipate what's going on. And she just kind of starts to like carefully circle. Because I'm assuming we don't have to go through the full combat like scenario. Are you cool with making this, and I guess Con too, are we cool with making this like slightly more cinematic so we can do some flare bullshit?
Yeah, I'd rather have you do that. So it's that's
okay, perfect. Then if that's the case, she's going to like start like very carefully circling you, and then you see like she has like almost this like little like glint of like hot pink in her eyes, and it's like she moves a little faster than normal, and it leaves like it's like a neon streak.
Yes.
as she tosses her sword at you and is going to cast Firebolt with her free hand.
Oh my god!
Love.
And then she's going to action surge and chase after her sword as she's chasing it and then strike you with the sword.
I love that so much.
Y'all are like Cosmo and Wanda, first of all. Second.
Let me see. Shay, okay, I'm just gonna start flavoring this. Shay parries with both of her swords, and you see a green flame jump into the air.
Here's what I will give both of you for this moment of time. You can go fucking walls to the balls. Balls to walls? Walls to balls.
Balls to balls.
Yeah, balls on walls and walls on walls. Yeah, you guys can go balls to walls bananas with this. I don't care. As long as... What I will say is... I'm putting this in your hands. So, you know, like... Don't be like children who's like, I win because period, and then period, and then when I win, and period, your mom, I win, period. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm giving it to the two of you, but sustain whatever damage you, like, if, I'm not saying you're going to do this and this, but like, we could do this at a point and it could be like someone dies. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
So, I'm giving it to you to make it your cinematic flair of whatever you're doing. If it's a spell, just mark off a spell slot, whatever. Yeah, so go fucking nuts.
Yeah, you get
Where do you
hit by
think...
that.
The firebolt probably hit me.
I would say just for flavor-wise, it's still a hot pink bolt, and it like when she throws it, it comes like straight at you, and she throws it at your head. And you like for a second think like the bolt itself takes on a form, and it looks like almost like bird of prey talons kind of stretching out towards you to hit you. And like as if you're going to parry the bolt, as it like you like parry it and it kind of explodes, she's just like right in front of you and ready to like hit you, and she'll try and hit you with the flat of her blade.
Oh, okay. I'll ask you, which one do you want to have actually hit Shay?
I think it's more interesting for Shay to like parry the fire, and like she's just like like Codex is just there.
Yeah, so she parries that, and then you smack her with the flat of your blade. If you're down with it, I was gonna have a little conversation with you as we like spar.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, so Shay dissipates the firebolt with the flat.
She stabs her in the heart.
I'm playing Cazamir.
No!
Yes. You're playing Balthazar, are you kidding?
There you go.
Yeah.
I bet you're wondering why I brought you to the White Castle.
For burgers.
You're playing Harold and Kumar.
After that hit, Shay kind of jumps back a little bit. So, do you want to talk about anything, Codex? And lunges at you.
Yeah, she's like ducking up. Listen, I'm sorry I took the diamond. I don't know. Did they steal it from the museum? I'm sorry. It seems important. I know it's important. I didn't read the labels, but I'm sorry.
It's incredibly important. She swipes at your head.
She like ducks at you probably. Are you like actually trying to cut her?
She's going for you. It's not her like sharpest blades though.
Yeah, she probably ducks and you probably like clip one of her ears, so she like, because she's got a lot of ear and a lot of hair. You probably clip one of her ears and she like kind of like ducks and like the blood kind of like splatters down onto her white fur. And she kind of like backpedals a little bit to get space. And then she's gonna cast Blur.
Ooh, nice.
Spicy.
And I have to roll on the wild magic table.
Oh my god.
See if I surge.
You do the increasing thing, right? Like every time you
Yep.
cast.
Yep, we're good. I'm at 5, now I'm at 6.
Noted.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck. Okay.
It's coming soon.
So Shay doesn't move at all when you like start blurring.
Yep.
So you had no idea where this came from, who you were stealing it for, or what it housed?
No, and she is gonna start running at you again and try and swing at you, and probably like obviously miss because she's focused on talking.
Yeah, 100%. I think you try to hit her and you hit my shield instead. Yeah.
And like her hand kind of like rings from the reverb of hitting the shield. And she like almost drops the sword, and she's like, I knew I was stealing it for Sham. He didn't tell me who I was giving it to. I didn't even know it was my job until I was in the carriage with him, and I didn't have an out. I guess I could have jumped out of the cart.
Do you know where it came from?
The museum?
You don't know anything before that.
No, like I said, I didn't read the placard.
I think Shay takes a hit from your parry dagger or sword, whichever one you want.
Probably the parry dagger.
Perfect. And then you're gonna get bitch slapped with her chill touch.
Terrence is eating popcorn. Like, somehow it appears.
Yeah, it definitely drops then, because I rolled very badly. And she kind of like shakes her head and her ears kind of like fling. She's like, I swear, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know where it came from. I don't even know how it got into the museum until now.
So you were hired to do a job. You did that job without the base knowledge.
Yeah, it was my first job. It was my first job at the Adventuring Guild, and I didn't know what it was until I was in the cart with Sham. And besides jumping out of a moving cart, he gave me a piece of paper. I teleported there. I took it, and then I teleported to the lady with the Onyx Obscurity.
With that, Shay dashes to the wall and disappears in shadows.
Kodak's like, fuck! And she probably honestly like gives an awkward glance at like Terrence and one, and then she kind of like is like, she's just like very carefully spitting, and her ears are kind of like pivoting to see if she can pick up on any sound.
You hear Terrence say, "You see him?" It's like,
you see him?
I'm actually look over and one finally like is not working on that and is at her like journal, like literally like drawing all the magic that she's seen.
All right, Codex, you hear a voice from the shadows.
Shadows.
Mm-hmm. Are you sorry?
Yeah, I said sorry like 5 times. I didn't want to do it necessarily, and I am. You seem upset, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, a knife appears from behind you, or like around your neck, and her face is right next to your ear.
She's probably just breathing really hard, and she just stands really still. And like after a second, she kind of just like lets her head drop back, so it almost like lands on your shoulder, and she kind of like tilts it so she can look at you, and she's like, "I'm really sorry, Shay, and I don't know what it all meant to you, and you don't have to tell me, but I don't want to feel like you're gonna stab me when we're on a job."
Oh, Codex, I have so much to teach you. Will you promise to not do these stupid things anymore?
Yeah, I feel like the track we're on right now is pretty stupid, but I think we're doing it as a group, so that's cool.
True enough. She circles around and keeps her tip of her sword pointed at your neck, though. I think you can be more help than hurt. And I want to be your friend, Codex. She sheaths both of her swords.
Mm. She kind of like, she probably got disarmed, honestly, and she like goes to pick up her other one and like kind of puts it back on her back, and she like scratches her head and then like reaches up and like touches her ear where it got cut, and she looks at the blood and she's like, I just want to be helpful, if I can, if we're going to be in this situation. And I want you to know that you can trust me, and for the most part, I have been very truthful, and the one thing that I was holding on to is now out in the open, so.
Shay very tensely, slowly walks towards Codex and gives her a hug.
Aww.
Yeah, you like hug her, and she like tenses up for a second, and then she immediately just like big like arms around you, just like big hug. And she's like, she probably has. How tall is Shay?
6 foot.
Oh, Jesus Christ. She's so tall.
Your boob height.
Boob height. She's like trying to not. She's trying to not have her face in your boobs, but it's just like whatever. And as we're both like standing there and we got the hug going on, she very quietly is just like, also, I know I still need to teach you message, and you still have to teach me how to flirt, and I think we could really start working on that soon.
Yes, we can, Codex. Yes, we can. And I think during this time too, Shay is like kind of turned to be facing one and just staring directly at one as she's hugging Codex.
Terrence is applauding. That was beautiful. Yeah, drunk. He's like, that was fucking great.
I I probably am like closing my notebook and going back to work. I'm not paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
Like, once I close that
Love
notebook,
it.
I'm back to my work.
He wipes it too.
She kind of like pulls back from the hug and she kind of holds out her hand. She's like, all right, we're cool.
Yes, we are. But I like this honesty codex. Let's keep it up.
Yeah. I'll try. It's a good thing nothing bad happens. Sometimes when I cast spells, they do. And she kind of like shakes her head and just like starts to head back towards her room. Good night, you guys!
Good night.
Shay starts walking towards you too.
Do I catch that you're bleeding?
Yeah, on the white
I like have like my hand like
Hiding it. Like,
yeah. I'll be like, Codex, come here.
Okay. She's like kind of like trots over.
You see, like she, like on her hand, like the armor kind of comes around her hand again, and she like takes like a vial out of her pocket and like slides it in, and it fits into the glove, and she grabs your ear, and like you feel like a prickling sensation, and then it's cured, and I cast Cure Wounds on you.
Nice.
You're gonna have to tell me what the fuck that was.
scary.
Don't get blood in their keep.
It's white. Keep it that way.
Just on the outside.
Okay, anyway.
Shay, this is gonna stain my fur. No, she kind of like reaches up and touches her ear. And she kind of like gives this like awkward little nod. She's like, thanks. Don't stay up too late. She like awkwardly turns on her heel and runs, like heads back to
Good
her
one.
room.
Yeah.
Shay says nothing. She just like comes on over and like crosses her arms. Are you guys near like a wall or anything? Or like you're just
I was
in the
gonna say, I
corner?
thought we were more like in the
I
center.
think there's like a tree. I feel like we're near the. There's any trees in the courtyard?
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, I
the
feel like-
one or two.
Yeah, I feel like we're under one of them and like kind of you're leaned up.
I'm probably a
against
little
it.
bit further away because I don't want to set a
Oh,
tree
okay.
on fire.
Great, then I'm leaning up against the tree.
Shay's gonna lean up against the tree that you're leaning on then, Terrence. Not saying a word to anybody. Can you give me a con save?
What the fuck are you doing to me? That's a nat 20.
Oh, shit. I love that then. Then nothing, well actually,
What are you doing to me?
I'm trying to see if it's still,
Kiss you.
yeah.
Why is that a constitution save?
Kiss it dead.
Okay, yeah, I don't think that would happen. But that was a cantrip, so whatever. Oh no.
Well, I think the second, if you are you trying to cast something on me?
Yeah, just
The
like a cantrip.
second I stand up and I turn and I'm like, what the fuck?
There you are. I think we should speak.
She probably is like holding the like hot metal too.
Ooh, yeah. Well, in that case, I'm definitely gonna cast,
Go again! We're doing this again?
Again?
I'm casting Frostbite on the hot metal to make it go out.
Oh my god.
Fair enough.
We'd have to roll for it.
Yeah.
I think it just does.
It should just go out.
Is it a save?
It's a constitution save on the metal, yeah.
It's not, it's not like unless I get like a
I can't
big
believe this
fucking
metal
roll.
has such a high
Oh my god, I rolled a 3.
No, it's like,
I think it's like,
No, I think that's fair.
There are objects that have things, so I just have them.
Yeah.
Just in case, but
I love that. As soon as you turn it, it's like, it just goes, I think it just streaks across it like cracked. Just, you know how like antique paint like cracks like that? I think it just goes across and a quick heartbeat, just directly in your hand.
you probably as you're like holding it, you hear like the changing temperature, and you kind of just
Yes.
drop
yeah,
it.
it's, it's not like a like quick drop. It's just like a very like
It probably does to
Yes.
like graze you.
yeah.
Terrence is so...
Terrence is here! Terrence is here for me!
Yeah, V2 just like V2 probably when you do that does like kind of like you see V2 bend down a bit and start to growl towards Shay. It's
I kind of like give my hand like
Oh, yeah.
if it like sees that I kind of like
V2 will then just kind of like trot off next to Terrence.
I was gonna pat the ground next to me for him to come sit over.
Yes. What's your passive perceptions?
Passive?
Yeah.
18.
Yes.
13.
You don't see it,
13.
yeah.
13.
V2
God
is
it's
58.
observant
That's
feat.
wisdom, right?
That's a good feat. That's a
Yeah.
great feat.
Yeah.
10 plus whatever your wisdom is.
Or the whatever your perception.
Technically it would be 14 now.
Yeah. Hey, that's
if that
true.
changes anything.
Yeah.
So I think as soon as you turn to look at Shay, you see all of these like smoky tendrils just coming up out of her tattoos. There's like almost coming out of every pore. She's just like, it's a slow, just like rays, but they're a little shadowy. So do whatever you want with that information. But she's still deadlocked-eyed on you.
What do you want to say? I thought we talked yesterday.
Plain. Oh yeah, you guys had the Codex Emerald come into the room yesterday. Jesus.
I think you omitted quite a few important details from that entire story.
I thought you knew.
Oh, I didn't know your involvement to its extent.
Again, I thought you knew.
Seems like a cop-out to me.
You can think it that way, but that's not how it is. I'm not your enemy, Shay.
Are we sure about that?
Is your mask down?
Yeah. I'm pretty damn sure.
Then who is your enemy?
She kind of like sits on, like she sits with that one. She's like, who is my enemy? I'll say the Berg.
Shay's a little shocked by that one. Why is that?
I was wronged by quite a few people here. Let it be known I did fight for the wilds, and was almost killed for it. So I got caught up in the wrong thing at the wrong time. They explained it as power, 1,000 wishes, the darker diamond. They didn't tell us we were getting into this. So yes, I was selfish. But who wouldn't want that?
If given the opportunity, would you do it again?
Knowing what I know now,
Yes.
it's complicated.
What does the name Adelaide mean to you?
That's we're ending the episode. I can't. It's our ending. That has to.